to rise on a point of order premised on the privileges of this House, privileges and immunities bestowed upon members of this House. And I found it extremely compelling to insist that I raise this point of order because of the transactions in the last few days. May I state, Madam Chairperson, that I'm cognizant of the fact that amongst the fundamental roles I should play as a member of parliament, like all of my colleagues, beyond representation and legislation, is budget approval and debate thereof, and providing oversight on the executive. That is the reason why the people of Choma Central constituency voted for me. Last week, when this House was considering a head under ministry, a vote under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and in particular, Zambia Police, I stood on the floor of this House to share my thoughts on that particular motion. And as you would agree with me, Madam Chairperson, I debated Zambia Police the way I saw it. And in my discourse, I made reference to corruption that is obtaining under the leadership of PF. I didn't make mention of any particular individual. And as you know me, my debates are guarded. I don't make blanket, baseless statements. I pointed to the areas which are in public domain in respect of corruption, and areas where citizens are not satisfied with the way public funds are being used. And one of those areas I referenced my debate on was $4.3 million constructed under the Ministry of Infrastructure, and the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure Development, a toll gate worth 4.3 million kwacha, that this should not have been the way we should be spending money. This money should have gone to police. I concluded my discourse that afternoon, or it was a morning, by stating that this idea of saying you want to go and arrest HH, we as members of the UPND last time did a lot of work to restrain people, not to go on the streets, which this time we are not prepared to do. And you provided counsel, Madam Chairperson, after I made that statement. At break time, the Minister of Infrastructure Development, I suspect it is because of my reference to a toll gate worth $4.3 million, met me at the lounge downstairs here and told me, "Iwe Mweetwa, meaning you young man, why are you debating like that on the floor of this House? Don't you know that you are risking your life?" And I told him that me, I'm a policeman. I'm trained not to fear to die. He said, "This is serious. What I'm telling you is serious." This minister here, my elder brother. And he said, "What I'm telling you is serious. If you don't know, there are people in this country who are trained, employed, and paid to eliminate people. So this line of debate you are taking, Mweetwa, you are risking your life." As if that was not enough, because...
Order in the House, order.
Because I have a long-standing history of friendship and comradeship with my elder brother, and I respect him. He knows that. I've always told him that, in my opinion, he's one of the sober ministers. I took it as a joke, the way we joke, because I joke with many ministers and members because they are my personal friends who are in PF. So I took it that way. Now, yesterday, after my debate on religious affairs, where again I made reference to corruption obtaining under PF and pointed to those areas of corruption such as social cash transfer abuse, Ministry of Education, and 3 officers under his ministry that have been suspended. And I also made reference to the toll gate worth $4.3 million. My elder brother went to other UPND members of parliament, indicating to say Mweetwa's debates are not good debates. I did confront him to warn him that in this country there is a wing trained to eliminate people, that wing of government which President Rupia Banda didn't use and President Michael Sata didn't use, but that wing is there to eliminate people. And for those who are passing comments that are necessary, I'm talking about life here. I was elected to come here and debate issues fearlessly, and that's what I do here. Madam Chairperson, is my older brother the Minister of Infrastructure and Infrastructure? In order to begin to instill fear in members of the Parliament of the UPND, attempt to instill fear in me, and Madam Speaker, is he in order to inform me and other members of Parliament or another member of Parliament whose name I withhold, that government has a wing that can cause harm and even kill people? Is he in order to instill that fear and threaten death to me, a member of Parliament for Choma Central constituency, elected by people of Choma Central constituency, and by extension of those threats, threaten harm and or death to my family members who could become a target in the execution of those threats? Considering the privileges and immunities of this House, he is my elder brother, the Minister of Infrastructure and Housing, whatever development, in order to do what he's doing to me when I'm merely stating facts in respect of the corruption obtaining under PF